All right, episode number 2 of Wine About It. I'm Brian. This is Gino. Gino, how's your weekend, man?
It's good. Yeah. College football starting. I mean,
we
can't get better.
We saw each other on Friday.
Yep.
Right, Friday. Yeah, watching the game.
Right.
A little bit and stuff. The early games.
Yeah.
Like we're at the good time that like it's crisp in the morning.
Yeah.
For like the games, and then obviously still warm enough that like the pool time. I think you left before we got into the pool here, but
I know.
But it's definitely.
It was heating up though. Yeah. It gets hot though. But yeah, this time of year is so awesome. I was just early this morning in my backyard. It's like all shaded, like kind of like here right now. Just like feels so good out though, and it's just catching up on all the sports. Yeah,
football is back. That's great. I mean, a little bit of a heartbreak for us. We're both, obviously we're from Boise, being Boise guys. That was a rough.
That was
opening
a rough start.
week.
Yeah,
but you know what? I guess the one good thing, it was on Thursday, so it gave us a long time to get over it. So it gave us a long time to get over it, and then I guess also a lot of teams got in their own way, so we weren't the only one.
Yeah,
it just sucked that we were the first game of like week 1.
Yeah, and it's like you have to watch the stage. Yeah. Everyone's watching you. That's when I get the most nervous for Boise State sometimes too. Is like I just know everybody's watching them, and so that was tough. But yeah, like you said, there was quite a few other teams too that open up with the L, and I mean
that stuff happens.
Yeah.
Anything else with the fan? I know. Is like kids are super in what sports right now? Are they playing flag football? Is that what's going on right now?
Yeah, Cal's playing on 2 teams. Yeah, he does.
Sounds like
flex.
Cal.
Yeah, he loves football. Football's his thing. Yeah. We did go to the College of Idaho game. My buddy's son plays for Eastern Oregon.
Oh, okay.
And that was awesome, dude. It was the most people I've ever seen in that stadium.
Oh, really?
I mean, it's a small stadium, but it was packed. It was 7:00 game, so it was under the lights.
That's cool.
And, small college football vibes is so good. Yeah.
That's awesome. College of Idaho. They're NAI. Is that what they are?
Yeah.
Okay.
NAI,
Yeah, I couldn't remember. So no, that's cool. Like I mean, I think that's a great spot for here where we're at. Like having that type, of talent. But well, cool, dude. I said our weekend was kind of saying like we went to Tampa, saw the game.
I know. Yeah.
Great. I mean, it was fun. It was cool. Like
first always time in Tampa too. Right?
First time in Tampa. I've been to Florida quite a bit, but that was the first time in Tampa.
Yeah.
Always, as much as I hate that the game affects my attitude, it affects my attitude.
Well, you were going for the game, I mean, I get it.
So, we went out like afterwards and, and it's still like kind of like, I don't know, tail tucked between your legs, I guess, a little bit. But I was like, all right, ready to get out of here.
Yeah.
And then long travel back. But I was really glad. I think it is a cool experience. At the end of the day, got to go to, a new college stadium, or it wasn't a college stadium, a new college experience game. And then, went into check out Tampa. So I do it again. I wish different results, but that happened. So
no, I think it's great that I love that you guys travel to a lot of the away games, and we've talked about it before too. It's just it's a different experience. Yeah, you can't always win the game, obviously, but it's always good to put yourself in a different area and see how they do it, and see the fans,
and then
the bars,
fans, and
like
it's cool. Like the stuff around there. Yeah, I got to see like Tampa's really cool experience, really cool city. I thought it was a really pretty city, so I had to check that out. Mm-hmm. I thought their fans were nice. I've definitely been around a lot worse fans, and stuff. And then even afterwards, a couple of like crap talking, but like at that point, like you gotta just wear it.
Witty.
Like I was like,
can't really say much.
That wasn't our best showing, but like like not my top. Like I wouldn't say my favorite fans that I've been to, but definitely not on the bad side. So good. So credit to UCF on that one. Oh my God, no, not UCF. USF. So apologies to all the South Florida, because that they definitely won't like that one. So well, awesome, dude. Well, here we go. Episode 2, like we do here is
we kick
off by wine. So let's talk about it, Gino.
So I did an audible. We had an Albarino picked out, but I saw this in the fridge today, and I just was like, it sounds like a good. So kind of going on the theme that we were talking about, just the weather, and I don't know. I'm definitely someone who, for me, drinking wine, it's like whatever I'm feeling at that. I was gonna do a different wine, but today I felt like. So anyway, it's called the Calling Chardonnay.
All right.
What's cool about this wine is it's a project of Jim Nantz. So Jim Nantz is one of the owners of this winery.
Like the commentator. The commentator.
Yeah,
oh, okay. Yeah. I was like.
So on the back it says Peter Deutsch and Jim Nantz. They're the founders of this winery. Peter Deutsch owns a wine company called Deutsch Family Spirits, Deutsch Family Wine and Spirits, and so it's just small production. I can't remember how they became friends. They just kind of met, I think, in like a restaurant or something like that, and they both have huge passions for sports and wine. So
there you go. Right up our alley.
Yeah.
Oh, where's it from?
This is from Sonoma. So this is California. So yeah, really, this is. I mean, I haven't had this wine in a little bit, but the last time I remember having it is that it's really for Chardonnay. Yeah, Chardonnays can differ. Like they can be super oaky. Almost like butter popcorn tasting.
That's what I've always got. It's kind of buttery.
Yep. And then on the opposite side of that is like a kind of more of a French Burgundy style, which is there's unoaked, so it's just like there's no oak at all. It's super crisp, really acidic. This kind of falls in the middle, so it's like it's a little bit oak, but Sonoma, this growing region is a little bit more cooler, so it actually. You can taste that in the wine. So temperatures for wines in grape growing regions, if you think about it in terms of just the how hot it is. So I think we've talked before, like, you know, all the like Lodi, California. You're from Lodi.
Not from Central California.
It's super hot there, and so that growing region tends to produce some really hot wines. When I say hot, it's like high alcohol wines.
Oh, got it.
So you'll feel it in your mouth anyway. This is a little bit cooler, so that's where I was going. This is a cooler growing region. Nice. And 100% Chardonnay from the Sonoma Coast. And Jim Nantz, dude.
Yeah,
in the spirit of football,
Okay. So from...
What do you think?
I think it tastes really good.
Yeah.
I don't normally drink Chardonnay, and when I
had a feeling.
That's that was good. And so when I've always gotten a very like buttery taste. Like I felt it on my tongue. Like as soon as I drink it, I felt it so coated. This seems a lot more crisp, which is when I drink white wine is what I like. So like you know, I would drink like a Zinfandel or you know or a Pinot Grigio kind of thing.
Yeah.
So is that because, like, I know you're saying the region is like Sonoma, is that where it's known for Chardonnay? Is that like the best Chardonnays from there? Like what makes this different besides just is it just strictly climate or is it?
Yeah. So Chardonnay in California in general, is it's one of the most popular. I mean, I would say Cabernet Sauvignon and Chardonnay are the two most popular grapes grown in California. California is a super diverse growing climate, though. So, I mean, it depends. Even in Sonoma, where this winery is from, it can, in Napa Valley and all the areas over there, different where your winery is situated in that valley can change a lot of things. So, like, there's different exposures where the grapes are actually planted. So, how much sunlight, when they get the sunlight, and then wind is a huge thing too. So. A lot of those wineries will get some of that coastal winds come through and cool down the vines at night. So when it's super hot, that's a way for the vines to cool down at night. And so you really want like high spikes is actually really good. So super hot days and then cool nights is a really good recipe for a grape growing region. California just happens to be. I don't want to say it's the perfect place to grow grapes. Because that's hard to say, but it's pretty damn close. And that's why there's so many wineries there. I mean, it's a perfect area to grow grapes. I mean, not just Chardonnay, they grow all sorts of stuff. But Chardonnay does really well there, and like I said, Cabernet does well there. Those are the famous, like that's what put California on the map. We're super lucky on the West Coast. I always tell people like we're very spoiled because you have California, Oregon, Washington, those three states right in a row. You could probably just drink wines from those states only the rest of your life and be totally happy. Because awesome. There's amazing wineries in all of those states for sure.
So, and probably we're getting a little bit off the Chardonnay, but like when you're saying with the spikes, living in Boise, we get that type of temperature? Is it just the land that's not good? Like, how come we don't grow a ton of stuff here? I know we have like St. Chappelle, but like
So there is the Snake River Valley AVA. So an AVA is like Sonoma Coast or Napa Valley.
Oh, okay.
It's the American Viticultural Area, I think I might have that wrong, but it's basically the name of the growing region essentially. So here, how I like to think about this is, have you ever been to Willamette Valley or like outside of Portland, kind of south of Portland?
Just driven through it, but no.
So, but in your head, you can kind of envision like the weather of the Portland area or south of Portland, right? It's very, wet, foggy, cool. It doesn't get, it does get hotter nowadays, but anyway, the latitude of that area is the same latitude as some of the really famous growing regions in Europe. And so when I think of it, if you just think you're on the same latitude, that has a huge impact. So why I'm going with that is, I believe the Snake River Valley has, where we're situated at over in Spain, it's a similar latitude and growing area for Tempranillo. So they've recently started, I would say in the last like 5, 6, 7 years, doing some amazing Tempranillo from Snake River Valley, and it's because it's just the perfect grape for this growing region. So it has to do with soil, it has to do with weather patterns. They call it terroir. So the French call it terroir. So terroir means all of it together. So it's like your soil, your weather, your just basically the whole entire thing. So whatever that terroir is, you have to find the best suited grape to grow in that area, and so they're different all over the world.
Now, last time we had a blend.
On the first blend. Yep.
This one's 100% Chardonnay, so I'm guessing that's a grape that makes Chardonnay. It's just that. It's that one grape. That goes to it.
And Chardonnays, you don't like when we did have a blend last time. Chardonnay is one of those grapes that's rarely blended ever. It's like usually just they might do like 2% of something else, but like you'll never see a white blend. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't do infinite because
I know
anything can happen these days. So it's like more times than not, you don't see Chardonnay as a grape in a white blend. So it'll be something different than that. So you really do usually see it on its own, almost 100%, where it is 100% Chardonnay in the bottle.
Got it.
Yeah, it's a very versatile wine. I think just Chardonnay in general, and from this area, food wise, food's a huge part of wine.
Absolutely.
I think this is like one of the most versatile wines you could pair. I mean, you would definitely want to stay like kind of lighter chicken dishes or salads.
White meat or fish.
Fish is good. Yeah, you wouldn't want to have this with like any sort of steak or anything like that, or heavy big sauces. Tomatoes and that kind of things. The acidity of those dishes will kind of throw off the wine. You kind of want to, if the wine is going to be like kind of a medium bodied, not too crazy one way or the other, you kind of want to think of it as food that way too. I don't know. I think probably one of my favorite dishes with this would be like probably like just a grilled chicken over some rice. Just like super clean, crisp, and some vegetables, and boom, you're styling.
All right. So when we take this podcast on the road, if we go watch a game in Austin, we're not this is not going to be an Austin choice with barbecue. This is going to be a Pacific Northwest. We're going to go watch it. We go to the Huskies, and we're sailgating.
Exactly.
Got it. Yeah, I got it. Okay, perfect.
This would be a perfect sailgating wine, for sure.
Nice, awesome, dude. I love it. And then curiosity, like Chardonnay to me is, I think, even people who aren't wine drinkers have heard a Chardonnay. Like they've heard that called. Like, how is the popularity of Chardonnay just in general right now?
Yeah. Good question. It's still one of the most popular. I think in terms of, I'm in the wine business, so I see a lot of these sales numbers and everything. It's still today probably the most sold category of wine. So Chardonnay, the most consumed, I would say.
Okay.
And like, there's a lot of big wineries that produce a lot of Chardonnay. So like one that comes to mind for sure is like Kendall Jackson. Like you're saying, like people. If you're not into wine, you probably have heard of Chardonnay.
Absolutely.
A lot of people growing up, their moms drank Chardonnay. Not to put it in a category, but like,
I know exactly.
It's just very synonymous with just that kind of thing. And but now more so than ever, you can get so many different types of Chardonnay. So I think in the, wine goes in trends.
Yeah.
The trends, and they go, there was a trend at one time, like when I was talking about the buttery version.
Yes, yeah.
There's a winery out there called Rombauer that became super, super famous and popular, and people were buying and drinking the shit out of it. And it was just, if you taste it, it's just like this super rich. They use a lot of oak and like a lot of different techniques in the winemaking process to get it this, like, it's almost, I mean, I said like butter popcorn, I think earlier. Like, it does taste like
exactly
a stick of butter almost in a glass, dude.
100%.
For me personally, that's not my style. I don't really like that kind of wine.
A couple
it's
drinks,
too much. Yeah, it's like too much flavor. But there's people that absolutely love that kind of wine. Drink a crap ton of it, and so they sell a lot of it. But yeah, to answer your question, like Chardonnay, I would say is probably number 1 or number 2 most sold wine in the United States is my guess. For sure. All right, and especially here in Idaho, like I do see those numbers. It's our most sold wine for sure.
That's impressive. Awesome. Well, I kind of like now that this little like question we kind of touched on now, and I think we should start having it every week. Thank you. Is this wine? We have it. Where's our dream game of going to? Like, it kind of sounds like it would be a Husky game.
I know. I like the idea of tailgating.
There you go. Because the Chris, I would think is probably early season opener Huskies.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, Huskies, or I was thinking like something in the Bay Area too.
Oh, like a Cal Berkeley game?
Berkeley or Stanford or something like that.
I think we could probably make the Cal Berkeley game happen too. So got a couple good connections.
Yeah, that's a great idea, because it is funny to think about. I'm glad you brought this up, because I met a girl yesterday who's from Alabama, and she just moved here to Boise from Alabama. And she went to UAB, and we were just like talking about just the differences of football culture, basically there versus here, and the West Coast. We weren't really talking about Boise, but it's just like West Coast in general. And she's just like talking about how different the fans are and all that sort of thing. And I was like, I get it. Yeah. And so, like you're saying with the wine, like it's a good thing to think about, because like I wouldn't have this wine probably go to a UAB game. I probably wouldn't. I have to go something a little more.
You're probably eating a barbecue.
Or like we got to have like a party red or something, dude.
Okay, so Cal Berkeley, early in the year. Okay, we'll get that. We got to get that set up. All right, and so remind us again, it's the Calling, Jim Nance.
And the Calling is the winery. This winery is owned by Peter Deutsch and Jim Nance. Jim Nance, obviously the famous commentator. I've never met him. I really, really want to meet him one of these days, because he loves wine and sports.
It's a perfect mix. Not a sponsor, but could be.
Jim, if you're out there, come on. Anyway, but just a fun. It's like two friends. They don't produce a ton of this stuff, and just a fun wine, man. Nice. And I just thought of it for today, and coming off of opening weekend of college football. Here we go.
Hey, I love it. Well, it tastes good, and going into that, like we said, the second part of our show is we like to talk about sports and wine about sports.
Let's do it.
And it was week 1. Like fully, like we had week 0 in college, but it was just 5 games. So like this is the week. This is showcase, and I think we'd be remiss not to talk about someone that probably had a huge impact in our sports enjoyment career, is Lee Corso's last week, man.
Yeah,
like I think college football, like game day is synonymous of like where it is. Like people care where it's going to go. People like. Who, even if your team's not playing till in the afternoon, which we grew up in the West, so all our teams always play in the afternoon. You still woke up early and watched College Game Day. So, I would, not be lying to say there wasn't a little tear in my eye seeing Lee Corso's last day, just because it's, you see time ticking away, and it's just like, damn, it's changing and stuff. But this is a good one. I mean, what are your thoughts on did you watch it?
I did. And you're right. It did make me feel like my age too, because I've been watching him forever, and we all get older and whatnot, and things change, and that show's changed a lot too. There's different personalities on it now, but you're right. It's just so such a perfect way to start Saturday. It's and you see it, and it's on, and he's on, and I was talking to my son Cal, and we were talking about like how he puts on the mascot head, which one he picks, and blah blah blah, and it's just a cool cultural thing. It's just such a part of football and get you amped for the rest of the day. I mean, you can't help not get motivated. And then I love that they take it on the road and they go to all the different places.
All the places.
I've been able to go. I'm sure you go when I've been to it.
I was not living in Boise when they came to Boise one time, so I know I've missed that.
It was super fun. Yeah, I've done it here. I think I went to it in Eugene one time. But anyway, it's just a super awesome way to start the day.
It's always one of those things that like every person in America dreams about winning the lottery. And like one of my things I've always said, if I won the lottery, like I want to just travel around to the game days. I want to go and experience that because I think it's a unique thing. College football is just a unique thing globally. Like every place has pro sports. Every place gets crazy about pro sports, whatever it is. Nowhere else does amateur sports, college sports, like, does anyone take it this serious? Like, like, they always joke the European mind can't comprehend. They don't. Like,
I don't think they can.
I remember, and we're getting a little off, and I'll circle it back, but just to go back of the spectacle College GameDay. College, one of my good friends was from Australia, and it blew her mind at how Boise State, and this is early 2000s Boise State, how we would have the band and fireworks, and she's like, dude, these are like amateur sports, and I think College GameDay is on top of that. Like that's even more of a spectacle, and it's Lee Corso. Like he was in our home picked. Like he was the picker. He was the very charismatic one. When everything then was just sportscaster, he was the one. The not so fast, my friend. All that stuff. So it was it was a sad day to see that chapter of our sports life come to an end. But I mean, he went out with a bang, dude. I mean, he picked every game right. Every single game. Perfect.
That. Yeah, of course. That's it's the storybook, and it's like just what a way to close his career. And,
a little chef kiss on the way out, dude.
He's like, oh, you guys want me to pick every game? Okay, I'll do that.
And I even read that not only did his picks get right, every school that he was associated as a coach, he won that weekend. Like insane. Northern Illinois, Navy, but insane. So it was incredible. Tear to my eye. I mean, I wish you would have went 5-1 because I picked Texas, but
we watched that game.
But you had to bookend. I mean, he started with Brutus. He had to end with Brutus. So I mean,
no, they did it right. They did a great job. Like I said, I was watching. They just did a great job of showing his importance, what he brings to college football. And it was refreshing to see his career because now it's like I feel like, especially in the media world, to be the loudest is often the most heard. Where Lee wasn't like that. He did it his way. He was so just created his own thing. Really, I mean, it was really impressive.
It's insane. He had an incredible mix of being flamboyant, but educational, almost like he still talked X's and O's and he gave good examples. He wasn't being contrarian just to be I'm just trying to say the craziest thing. Even when he picked ones where he was wrong, it was okay, I can see your angle that you're going about. So I said it's one of those that it's a very sad, touching moment because not only is it just seeing someone retire, but it's also we were kids when he started doing that. So to be damn, dude, it's that part is done.
Yeah, definitely. I felt, wow, I've been watching college football for a long time, I guess.
I did. Oh, yeah. I've never, I don't remember
I don't
headgear.
I don't either.
So it was a crazy one.
It's great. No, I wish him all the best for sure.
Yeah, so to Lee Corso.
To Lee Corso.
Yeah, Lee Corso, dude. All right. Go. Well, our show is called Whine About It. So there are things that we have to whine about, or we want to whine about as we're doing. And a couple that stood out to me. Actually, this would be my whine that we complain about is pretty common whine that preseason polls are pretty stupid. But I think now in the age of the transfer portal, the player movement. Preseason polls are ridiculous. We have no idea who's going to be good, who's going to do what. If you look at this weekend alone, Florida State 2 years ago was 13-0. They had a ton of transfers last year, were picked number 10 and won 2 games. And then they come out and win this game, and not only won, took it to Alabama. Like physically took it to it. So I just look at this and it's like, we don't know who's going to be good. Like we have no clue.
It's true.
So to pick these first weeks, like, you know, I don't know. Like what do you do? Like I wouldn't gamble on these first couple of weeks.
Oh yeah, gambling. If the gambling angle is super hard.
Yeah.
I was listening. I was hearing something like. So do you? I mean, I would whine about that as well. Like the preseason poll and knowing everything, but like I caught myself thinking about this. I was like, because like looking at the slate of games this last weekend. And I was like, holy shit, Texas and Ohio State? Like, wow, like that's insane. Like, what a game. Florida State or all these different in Miami in these different games. But would you rather it be where they all play like a smaller school and just get kind of that one rep in type of week and then start playing each other? Or do you like it as where it is that big matchup right away, even though the teams are both coming, it's the first game, there's a lot of sloppy play and all that kind of thing?
No, I think that's good. So I will say, now you're making us not whine. Like, this is the good part of it. Like you said, I do think that with the new playoff era, a single loss isn't as devastating. So they do play these games now because you would never see that before. You know, you'd always see these early games coming, like, you know, it would be blowouts, like for the most part. So I do appreciate that like teams now will go and try that. But I think the hard part with me that I don't like about it is there's two bad parts with the preseason rankings. Is one, you don't know. You have no idea who's going to be good because teams are so different. Yeah,
especially like you were saying in this new
in the transfer
portal area, you have no. I mean, the team could flip like that.
Any other year, like Ohio State would always be good. I mean, Ohio State always going to be good. But in the end of the year, you lose 8 starters on defense, you'd be like, oh, dude, you're going to struggle a bit until you figure it out. Not you're going to hold the number 1 ranked team to 14 points. Like that wouldn't happen.
Yeah, they looked great. I didn't realize Matt Patricia was the defensive coordinator for them too. That was crazy. So just throwing an NFL guy,
100%.
That's an impressive thing.
But I think the other thing that always bugs me, and it's probably just you know, being on the West Coast, and I feel an SEC bias, is you get these teams ranked, and now they get credit for a ranked win, even when that team's not good. And the example I always use is, I remember in the early, or like the 10s to 19, I watched week 3, Texas A&M versus Arkansas, number 13 versus number 17, every year. And both of them would end up with like a 7-6 record. But you got credit for beating. Oh, they like, you know, another SEC team beat these two teams, and it's like, but they're not actually ranked. You know, so
it's true.
So a second part of my whine there. But at the end, like right now, I just think for the first month, we don't know what these teams are. You know, that could be good or bad. Right now, I'm hoping it's good for his Boise State guy. I'm hoping it's good. We change, but like us. From that week, we sure as hell shouldn't have been ranked.
That's true. No, I know. And we, it's.
But
no, it's an interesting thing. And like, I mean, it is frustrating too because, and it's new. We're all experiencing it as I mean, it's just college football is way different than it used to be, and there was like the preseason rankings and all these sort of things. So nowadays, what, you know, and I was trying to think like what could be the alternative. Like, do you just show up and like everybody plays, and then afterwards it's like, okay, now we'll do the rankings, or like, I mean, I guess you do have to have it, but
I mean, it's never going to change. Like, it's not, because I think there's it's too much of a selling point that you can put like, oh, this ranked team versus this ranked team. And I mean, it's also, I mean, again, the comeback to Boise, we benefited. I enjoyed seeing us ranked at the beginning. You know,
right on the edge, dude. 25.
Yeah, exactly. Coming in like, you know, but it's just one of those that like we don't know what we're seeing. Like every team can be so different in a year, and it never used to be that way because you had to build up and recruit, and like, okay, you're either struggling this year and then you have a young team that you're coming back, or you're like, oh, I know we're going to be good because we're returning this many people, and it's just a different day. And like now, like I said, I'm in the middle of that challenge where I'm going to be watching the Sun Belt teams.
Oh, that's right.
And I said I have to watch at least a month before, because you have no idea. Like I have no idea who's going to be good anywhere and stuff. So. That's the one of the ones that I would say, like,
that's
whine
that's
about
a
little
wine.
bit.
Yeah, no, I like it. It's and that is my thing too. Is I think, like what I was talking about earlier, like do you want like your team to play Montana State as Oregon and just steamroll them or not? And I think my big whine is that it is inconsistent. There's like some teams that will go do that, and now there's teams that are not doing that, and it just creates this kind of funky start, I feel like. And how do you I mean, it's only 1 week, but like, how good are some of these ranked teams where like, okay, well, I'm sure Oregon's good or whoever's good, but I can't really tell because they just went and just pounded a team 55, whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so it's kind of like the impatient side of me, like I was like, I just want to see them play an actual team. Let's go. Like, I don't trust that they're that good, really, because and so anyways. But I think that's my why, is just like there's so many different scenarios for everybody. It's hard to just after 1 week, like, okay, I know the rankings will come out, and some of the teams, there were some really good games and some really impressive wins, but then like on the whole landscape of things, it's like we don't know shit yet.
No,
like,
we have no clue. So like, is Florida State really good, or is Alabama not as good as we thought? Right. Is it like those ones? So where did you land? Would you rather it be like the Oregon, like where they played like a good FCS team, but it's still FCS?
Or would you Montana State? I love Montana State.
Yeah, but, Montana State's really good. It's not like they played.
No, they're good. They're a good school. I think I would rather have that, like every team warm up with a smaller school. Get your fans, you're happy, everything's good. Like your players, you get a game, it's like a preseason essentially. The flip side of that, I think, is like if you are that smaller school fan base, you're just like, okay, cool, probably a bad game.
But it's almost like to me,
but you never know. Like that's why you play. There's sometimes
you get those
Appalachian, crazy things can happen.
To those, I mean, we're we say we're a smaller school, but we're not a small school like that. To where like even when we go to big teams, we want to compete. We think we should compete, and we think there's a possibility of winning. I think the one benefit with those teams is like, you get paid to go there, but you get an experience too as a fan. Like no one's expecting you to come in and win, and no matter what the score is, everyone's like, fine. So I don't know. I struggle. Like I like the early games, like the big games. I think it is fun. I think it's great for the sport. You have eyes on it, but at the same time, it's like, man, if I was a coach, like I was like, I'd kind of want to fill us out a bit and see what we have here.
No, because there's
So nice, dude. Getting back into
going back. We were just discussing a little bit. Like, I think one of my big whines from this weekend is like the hot take on Arch Manning now, and people think they've got him figured out, or he's not big enough for the moment. All these different things, and I was like, he didn't play well for sure. I think this offensive coordinator didn't do me any favors either. Like obviously Ohio State played really well on defense, but I can't. One thing that bothers me, and again, like we were talking about, like people in media that are not like Lee Corso, they just are super loud and have to have the hottest take. They're just gonna like trash Arch Manning. I'm like, dude, the guy's played one. It's one game played on the road, super tough environment. He's going to be just fine, dude. He's probably going to light it up these next few weeks, and we'll forget that game ever even happened. So I just, the hot take, and not just Arch Manning, but like, these stars that are around college football, if they have one bad game, the fan base just like, dude, and I think we were going to talk about a little bit hot seat coming up too. It's a 1 week, but as much as I dislike that and whine about that, it is what it is at the same time. And it's real. Like, they are like, I mean, Arch Manning's going to be fine. It's not like he's going to get benched. I mean, the guy's he's a stud and he's going to be fine. But there are like some scenarios out there where, especially on the coaching side of it, you're like, it is a very thin line, dude.
For sure. So it's funny because it's like, I think Arch Manning is a very unique situation in that there was never going to be a time that he wasn't going to be overhyped.
Yeah.
Like, even if he's great, like, he has a Manning last name.
Yeah.
He was a recruit in social media that, like, we just know kids younger ages, you know, coming in. His, like, recruiting was huge. And he's at Texas. So I think that, like, it's impossible for him not to be overhyped unless he goes national championship, Heisman, first pick. Like, you know, if it's
That's
not
the expectation.
if it's not that, you know, so there is a part of that. So I can see why people are kind of jumping on the boat. The other thing is, I also think that, like, we're just in a frustrating era of sports that, like, having the hot take is, like, what people do.
Yeah.
Like, there's no repercussions of having a terrible pick. But you get the benefit from saying something crazy, and if it does happen, you get the benefit of it all the time. You know, like, so I don't like that, like, that sports where it's like, if you make some bad picks, like, you should have to wear it for a while and stuff. So with that in mind, like, like Arch Manning, you know, I've always been curious. I don't know how I, like, felt like I think I always thought he was never going to be totally up to the hype. You know, I thought there's just a lot to live to, but at the same time, I think it's ridiculous to overreact. Like, it's his first start. It's at Ohio State. It's at, like, the defending national championship that we think is good. Yeah, like good, like,
every eyeball is on you.
Good quarterbacks are going to go there and struggle.
National game.
Yes.
10 a.m. Well, here
like,
10 a.m. But yeah.
Yeah, like the best, like a very, like, qualified starter or someone who's been a starter for 3 years, they could go there and struggle. It's Ohio State at Buckeye Stadium. Like, it's going to happen. So I do get that. Like, that is, like, a frustrating part is, like, people's take. And then also it's like one of those that it's week one. Like, it's an overreaction. Like, you know, we're just talking about, like, all of the, you know, the things that happen week one. You don't really know your team. So I do get that. You know, but when you're saying, but the overhype, is it just Manning focus, or is there other like, is it just frustrating to see, like, the hype they have on these kids, like, all over the positions that were, like, they're ready to give up on them? And
I think it's in general, not just to Manning. I mean, he's the easy one to pick out for this week, but no, just in general, it's like, and especially at the college level. I mean, I don't want to, you know, defend them or give, you know, they are college athletes. They've been competing their whole life. They know what they're signing up for. It's a grind. It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of different things. But at the same time, it's like, they are kids.
You never know. Like, it's an 18-year-old kid, 19-year-old.
Just, like, have an off, or I don't know. Like, there could be so many variables to why a kid will play bad in a game.
100%.
Even, like, watching my son play football, it's like, I could tell there's just moments where they're, like, aloof, you know? Like,
dude.
I'm like, bro, like, come on.
Believe me.
They're just young, man. And they're, like, they just have a young mind, and, like, they're just,
Do you think the lack of patience with, like, these players is worse now because of the transfer portal? Because, like, people are like, why didn't we get someone else? Like, if this person can't do it, why didn't we go, you know? Or
I know we've talked about this before too, you keep the player, and then a couple other, like, the players that left go and do better, or are doing well, and you're like, wait a minute.
I mean, I fall to that too. So
you're like checking the stats, like, holy shit, dude, he's like, why did we keep it? Why did we let him go? Like,
I mean, I can't say that I'm not part of your wine there, because I do the same thing with that. Like, I mean, I think it's probably worse now because of that, right? Like, people add on to that. And then also,
I think it is worse
because of social media. We know kids younger. We know before they even get in to high school. So, like, you know, another one is Bryce Underwood from Michigan. Like, we've heard about Bryce Underwood for 2 years now, and he just made his first game, and people are already like, oh, he looked this or he didn't look like that, and you're like, damn, dude, the kid was 17 last week. Like, like, give him time, you know.
So like you said, the transfer portal, the whole transfer process now it's such a game changer and such a fix it right now type mindset for fans, even more so now, because you're just like, oh, well, you know, just transferred. I think it creates a lot of just, like, expectations are just so fast. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, we're gonna win now. Like, if we're not, we're just gonna like whatever, move on to the next guy.
I mean, the leashes are definitely shorter now. It's interesting. It's going to be funny to see kind of like what these transfer. You know, I'd look at like someone posted online just talking about like saying, you know, were these the worst 5-star quarterbacks of all time? And it was talking, it was Arch's class. So Arch was one.
Yeah.
Nico, who's now at UCLA, was one.
Right. Yeah.
Jackson Arnold, who's now at his second school, is one, and then Malachi Nelson.
Oh yeah.
And the other, and like people are like, "Oh, is this the worst 5-star?"
Worst 5-star
like and
class.
Yeah. Like they're sophomores. like dude, like you know, Joe Burrow was like just a quarterback his junior year, and then obviously like it came in and great. So like I'm not saying they're all going to be Joe Burrow, but like. You know, it seems like those timelines are done.
Yeah.
Another thing is, do you think part of it is that like fans know they're getting paid now, so like they're like frustrated with that? They're like, why are we paying this person $1 million? You know, like the expectation is because like now like these kids are are knowingly getting paid.
Yeah. No, I think you're spot on. I mean, I think there is a definitely short leash, you know, quicker timeline, all these extra, and the money does not help that situation out. Because people know what they're getting paid, how they're doing it, and they're much more than just a college football player now. They are a paid like representation of the town and the school and the alum and everybody else, and if you're that invested in it, you want your whatever your quarterback or whoever to ball out every single week.
For sure.
The fact of the matter is it's not going to happen. So it's created a very pressure cooker situation that, and it is like I hate that saying, but it is what it is. It's like it is. That's just what it's come to be now, and that's what college football is. And is it perfect? No. Is it whatever? But you know, at the same time, we all know what it is, and
we're not turning it off.
It's not going to turn it off. It's going to get worse. Probably.
You know, you bring up a good point, and I say all the time. I think you know, people see it as a representation of themselves. You know, like because of the school that they're connected to. Yeah. And I think that's probably what makes it the double-edged sword, the good and the bad, is that like for the most part in the NFL, like you chose your team because you saw them as a kid or something, whatever it is. Like I chose the Dolphins. I don't have any ties to Miami. Like I just happened to like the animal dolphin when I was a kid and like picked them. To where, you know, Boise State played there, like live in Boise, that like I am very invested. And that's what these other schools, these people that like are holding pressure because they feel more of that connection. Like this is a representation of me. Yeah. And I think you're right there in that. Like I think that's escalated even more. So now they're like, not only is a reputation of me, but we're paying X amount of dollars. Like, you know, so.
I think it's having college football open on the weekend where there's no NFL.
Oh yeah,
it's the all eyes are on it. Yeah. So like, whereas like it's well, today's Monday, but like, you know, where that next Sunday comes and like, you know, all college football happens, and then it's Sunday NFL. People are watching.
Yeah.
NFL.
The NFL.
You can kind of hide a little bit, you know.
Exactly.
But this opening weekend of college football is like, nope, it's the only thing on. It's the show in town. Like, that's what
Not only like when the NFL's on, is that like I assume 99% of people who are college football fans also have a pro team.
For sure.
So like even if you have a bad weekend in college, you're like, okay, well I could go to my pro team. Like so it gives you some.
Well, at least the Rams are playing.
Yeah. So we're here. It's like you're just wearing it for a week until they get back on. You know.
It's brutal. It's brutal.
Yeah. So I get that. So I think it's a good wine because I mean, the expectations are. Like they just swing too much. You know what? Actually, I just heard a stat about when we're talking about Archie Manning. Like at halftime, so he went into the game as the Heisman favorite.
Okay.
At halftime, he dropped to like the number 12 Heisman favorite just at halftime. Like people are changing their bets.
That's wild,
dude. So it's crazy. I mean, fans are gonna be overreact to everything. But you know, that's just part of it. You know, now you know, kind of segueing into like, you know, our last kind of wine of the week and talking about is just kind of the blue bloods and some of the stuff that happened to them. like obviously Alabama lost, Notre Dame lost, Clemson lost. Now, granted, some of them are really good teams. Like I'm not trying to talk to them. Do you think aberration? Like, do you think it's just something that like this week, or do you think this is something that maybe as a like college football, like 1 through 133 isn't getting more parity, but maybe 1 through 40 is getting more parity to where, Alabama used to have just all-stars at every lineup. Maybe now they don't have all-stars, and maybe don't have the depth, because one of the things talked about is their star running back broke his collarbone before this game, and they had to go running back committee, and they couldn't run the ball. So, like, is that changing a bit, like, with the transfer? Now some of these, like, I don't want to say mid-tier school, but, like, middle of the pack, Power 5 or Power 4 teams are able to, like, compete more.
Yeah. No, it is really interesting when you see an Alabama open with the loss, because you're just. But I think you're right, and I think that it is a lot of the parity, and I think there are more teams now with different types of talent that they didn't have before because of the transfer portal, and that they're and I think a lot of universities can use it whereas before it was all about like recruiting and building your players and your programs, and where now if you are good and you can get some of these transfers, especially in the SEC like that, where they're bouncing around from school to school, I think you're going to see some more of the blue blood programs struggle. I think you see it in college basketball too, same thing. It's the tournament now is more like a guessing game than ever because of all the different movement and different ways that schools are getting kids, and it's an interesting time. But I think it's still weird when you see you're going through ESPN app or whatever, you're like, holy shit, Alabama lost.
It's up. And like that
it's
beat, like,
weird. Still, you're like, oh,
and not that Florida State's not a blue blood, because they've been great, but that, like they were definitely down. For sure. But I just think like quick. I look at like the times where I remember, and I'll just use Georgia. Like Georgia, like for years it was like they had Division I, or Division I. They had NFL running back after NFL running back after. Like, I mean, the next person in. And like now, maybe that dude's not sticking around, and he's going somewhere else. And like, so you lose a player. It's in like in Alabama, you lose your running back, you lose your D tackle. Now the next dude that comes in, where it used to be like zero drop off. That guy might be good eventually, but he's not there right now. And so I think that's causing a little parity. And what's curious that I think is going to be the like side of that, when we just talked about overreactions, is what's going to happen with these coaches now and these guaranteed money that, like, with the revenue share now that they have to play the players. What are fans going to do when they're upset with like a coach? Like you think Lincoln Riley has like a $70 million buyout, and like and it's USC. I grew up on the West, so like the fans are going to be a little bit more patient because it's West Coast. They're just not as diehard. But they're not going to put up with 4 years of expectations. But how do you pay $70 million? How do you get your boosters to pay $70 million, then have to pay the next coach $70 million, and then have to turn around and pay like the players? So like, what are we going to do there? Like, how are they going to act with that?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think coaching, especially in the college football level right now, and they're with the money that's invested in, and these guys' contracts and the expectations of not just the fans but the boosters and the people that are giving money to the union, like. They expect that coach to be the next best coach. There's no way around it. And so when they falter or they don't do quite as well as the expectations, I think it's a 2-year timeline now for almost any big job, and barely 2 years. Like, I think the situation in Alabama is going to be very interesting to watch. I mean, I think that I would not be surprised. Let's put it this way: if there's a coaching change by the end of the season, if they lose one or two more games, I wouldn't be like shocked. I wouldn't be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they did that. No, that's how it is. Like,
so it'll be interesting this year, because 2 years ago I'd 100% agree with you. I'd have been like, they're out. Like, there's no way that they're going to put up with that. But now, knowing that they have to pay the players like 20% of the revenue, and his buyout of $80 million, I'm like, does that change their decision? Maybe not in the South. Like maybe Alabama. I'm sure they'll have boosters that are like, whatever, we'll pay whatever because that's their life. Is that? But I'm curious if that'll change things. I don't know. Like we'll see, because I'm with you. Like if it was any other year, and Alabama is where they are right now, where they missed the playoffs. And they lose this first game. If they lose 2 more games, he'd be gone. Especially some of the games he's lost. They lost to Vanderbilt last year.
I know. Yeah, there's been some ugly ones.
So I can see that, but I'm curious how it's going to go.
Selfishly, just being a West Coast sports fan, I want him to do well, actually, because I think there's the stupid stigma of like, if you're not from the South, or like, you're not from, like, you can't coach out here, blah, 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 blah. And so I'm like, part of me, I want him to do well, and I want to see that work out. But at the same time, like, if I'm putting money on it, I don't like his chances at all.
But I also think, I think a lot of it too is like we just talked about, like the parity that's going around. Like they're not able to stack the roster like they did before. So I think like out there, that'll hurt them a little bit. But I don't like that idea of like, if you're not from the South, you can coach.
That's always bothered me.
But maybe this will be a wine we talk about next time too. Is sometimes the greener pasture is not always greener.
I know.
Like how many times have you seen coaches that you're like, I don't know why they're not succeeding there, whatever it is. And like, so we'll talk about, and like one of them like that pops in my mind right now is, and this is a smaller one, is Brett Brennan at Arizona.
Oh yeah.
Like he's struggling. Brett Brennan brought San Jose State back, and I thought that was an impossible job.
I can't. They played.
No, they beat Hawaii. They beat Hawaii.
Okay.
But like
remember
he struggled last year when they had talent there.
Right.
And like San Jose State is. I thought it's impossible to win there. Like they have terrible stadium, they have terrible fans.
See it on TV,
dude.
It's like, oh my god, that looks like a terrible area.
They got rid of
the stadium. Yeah.
They got rid of one side of the stadium. It's like silly. There's not seats on that one side of the stadium because they didn't have people come in. So I was like, I don't know, like, and he got them good. Like, I know. And so I was like,
very impressive.
If you can do that there, you can go anywhere. But he's not. Like, and it's just, it's crazy that like some of that stuff like happens. So. It's another time, we're talking about. We'll talk about that. Another one. But like, I do think it's going to be curious, particularly around Alabama, with there, because they won't put. So go get a snack. We're almost done here. We'll get a snack. Yeah, and so.
Can I get chocolate muffin?
You have to ask Uncle Ian. So, you're on camera with that.
Best sales pitch.
So, so it will be interesting with that to go through. So, well, cool. Well, those are our wines, dude. It was good. It was a good week.
It's a good week.
What are you looking forward to this week? Any sports thing on top of your mind?
Yeah, for sure.
Is NFL back this week, or is it started on Monday night?
NFL starts this coming weekend, or Thursday, I should say. But I think too. I love all the U.S. Open's going on right now.
Oh, okay.
And it's tennis, and it's a dream of mine to go to that tournament. It's going to happen one of these days, but I love that tournament so much. And
when does it start?
So it's going on right now.
Okay.
I think it's the 4th round right now.
I think I should know that.
But there's a lot of the names are still there. Djokovic he's kind of in his twilight of his time, but he's playing super well. And then of course you got Alcaraz and Sinner. Those are the two, just young phenoms. But there's also Taylor Fritz, who's an American, and I was obviously pull for American.
Yeah. We haven't had one in a while.
The U.S. Open is like if he were to ever win that tournament.
Yeah.
He's already a pretty popular figure in tennis, but if he won this tournament, that would be crazy. So I don't think he's gonna win this tournament. But it's always fun to see him go far. He's our last hope right now. Really, the rest of them, and even on the women's side, I think we have maybe one woman left, but. It's an international game anyway. I mean, there's so many good players from all over the world, and but no. So I'm watching that because that'll conclude at the end of this week, and then So the finals will be next weekend is shaping up to be an epic sports weekend.
So is it open all the way through next weekend?
Yeah, so it's 2 weeks. So they'll play the final on. They did change. They started the tournament now on Sunday. I can't remember if it's going to finish on Sunday or Saturday, but it'll finish on the weekend. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So they'll play through this week, and and so it's going to be U.S. Open, NFL, college football, obviously. It's becoming that time, dude.
Good.
This is
we're gonna have to choose a good wine for.
We're gonna have to choose.
Yeah, a good wine for the
numerous bottles of wine. Yeah,
that's awesome, man.
What about you? What are you stoked on?
Well, Boise got a home game, so ready for that second one.
Yep.
I think I'm just now that college football's in a swing, I love the second week of college football because that's where you see the biggest change and jump and stuff because it's like you go into the season thinking your team could be one thing. And maybe you're right, maybe you're wrong, and then you kind of adjust from that. Whether it's, hey, we're not going to be as passing as much, or maybe our running back, or O-line, whatever it is. So you see a big jump there and change from 1 week to the next. So it'll be interesting to see these teams and stuff, and how people respond, especially the teams that did not live up to expectations. Obviously, we talked about Boise, but how's Arch going to respond? How's Alabama going to respond? These things that I think will be really, really telling going forward.
Yeah, if you are 0-2, that's a tough.
That's a tough.
1-1 is fine.
Yeah.
I think for most part. Obviously 2-0 is great, but I feel like if you're some of these big programs around the landscape and you go 0-2, that's a problem.
For sure.
That is almost panic button mode.
Oh yeah, because then your expectations have to change so much, and as much as as a player and a coach will preach, it's week by week. When you're 0-2, you start schedule watching, okay, well if this team loses here and we do that, and that's where you're out of it, because you can't get into that, because they always say you control what you control. So you're in a bad spot when you're well, if this team loses, we got this, because you have zero effect on that and stuff. So I get that. So getting back and seeing that change. So those are the big thing, is just to see how much teams improve and where they're going and stuff. But
looking forward to it. Yeah, it's going to be, like I said, we are in the, and I mean, I'm not a huge baseball diehard type of fan, but we are getting close to October, and I mean, we're so close to the prime time of sports. It's gonna be amazing.
I do love it. I do. When baseball gets close, it'll be good. The summer,
amazing.
Yeah. So, well, cool. Well, hey,
cheers.
we got one more, man. So, like we always say, if you don't like it,
whine about it.